Welcome to the Next Pro Show. I'm your lead scout, Cameron Lewis. We're here to review week one. I'll be starting with my guy, Jack Riley, who was in Boston with me to cover the weekend, some of our most impressive players, teams, and just kind of dive into what week one kind of looked like. Jack, how are you?
I'm doing good, Cam. Appreciate you guys having me on. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Kind of excited to talk to you, man. It was a great week of hoops, a lot of great bump. So let's just kind of get straight into it. First player on my list is Troy Spencer, Delaware certified hoops. Had a great Friday performance. Troy had 30 points in his first game versus Lead to Greatness. He had 22 at halftime, had 3 made threes at half, 2 in the second half, 5 overall made threes, and really just had a great game on both ends of the court. He defended well, picked up defenders whenever he could, made a lot of threes, as I mentioned. It was a dominant win for them. I was able to talk to Troy after the game and kind of ask him who his game kind of resembles him of, and he said it was Nathan Ment from Tennessee. Definitely makes a lot of sense. He was hitting threes in transition, hitting them in the half court as well, and was one of the tallest players on the court, so definitely rising above defenders to hit those shots. Day two and day three, Troy kind of had an up and down performance, but regardless of if his shot wasn't falling, he stayed competitive, continued to defend, crashed the glass, and it definitely paid off. In day two, he hit a shot that brought them into overtime. They did lose the overtime game, but came up huge for them when it mattered, despite his shots not falling in the first half and most of the second. So I think it was really overall just great performance for Troy. I wasn't aware of Troy before the weekend started, and I definitely think he made a name for himself and Delaware as a team.
Yeah, man. I mean, Troy, pretty impressive prospect out there in Boston. Kind of what comes to mind for me is his ability to really get out in transition, whether he's the runner or whether he's grabbing down the board. Great rebounding ability for his size and position, but he can rip it down, provide the outlet pass. He can rip it down, go coast to coast to the rim, or hit the transition three. Very versatile player. He can also guard probably the 1 through 4 on the AAU circuit just because of his size and athletic ability. So also saw him have some nice putbacks. He can play in the open court or the half court. Pretty impressive guy to me. Somebody I know that I'm putting on my list to watch as we get deeper into the season. And, I think a lot of college coaches should as well.
Absolutely, man. Troy was very impressive. I think the sky's the limit for him. As I said, was able to talk to him a little bit after the game on Friday and the rest of the weekend as well. Just very impressive kid overall.
Yeah.
Next up for you, man. I know we have Chase Robinson, Castle Athletics 17U. Castle Athletics, their entire program dominated the weekend. So just an
Yeah.
overall dominant weekend for them. But what really stuck out about Chase and his game and what he brought to Castle on the 17U side?
Yeah, so Chase to me, kind of dynamic guard, can play the one or the two. He can be your dominant ball handler, or he can be kind of the support for your dominant ball handler. His ability to get downhill, get below the 3-point line, score in the mid range, the interior is, it's pretty good. And another thing that kind of, I picked up on early on is that he has a gravitational pull to him almost. Defenders are going to have to drop down to stop him when he's in the mid range or on the interior. So, he can go in and he can finish the play himself. Or whenever that defense drops down and it's too much for him, he has a great ability to kick it out to the wing or the corner. Great passer. So, he does cause a lot of problems, especially on a great Castle team, the 17U. It's tough to stand out on a team like that. You got so many guys, and he was able to do that. So it's another guy just like Troy I'm going to be adding to my list to watch as we get deeper into this year. I think he has a great base map to work off of and also has great potential.
Yeah, man. Chase was very impressive this weekend, along with just the whole 17U program for Castle Athletics. So definitely a good weekend for them and expect them to continue to dominate as well. Next up for
100%.
me, we have Shea Henry from the Brooklyn Lions, 16U. For me, just a really all-around player, one of the most versatile players that I've seen this weekend. I think naturally in high school, Henry's a point guard, but this past weekend, he really did a little bit of everything. I like to call him a Swiss Army knife. Versatile wing role is what he played this weekend. Can grab the rebound and initiate the offense. His teammate can grab the rebound and kick it out to him, and he can push the pace and create for others in the half court and transition as well, and just really effective with the ball in transition, driving downhill. And then always looking to pick up defenders, whether that's 94 feet or at half court as well. So just an overall two-way player, two-way impact, and a player that I really like to compare him to this weekend was Najee Marshall. Again, can dribble, can pass, can shoot, can defend, one of your best players. So overall performance for the Brooklyn Lions this weekend. And I think Henry will definitely be a name to know on the 16U circuit this summer and then next year as well in high school.
100%. I think you couldn't have said it any better yourself. The first things I kind of think of when I hear his name is Swiss Army knife, glue guy. He's going to be the guy to go out there, pick up 94, make those extra plays for your team, make those winning plays for your team, especially on a competitive Brooklyn team. So, definitely somebody to look out for. Swiss Army knife. That's something that describes him perfectly.
Yeah, man, absolutely, absolutely. This next guy we're going to get into, you raved about him all weekend. I wasn't able to see him as much as you, so definitely excited for you to just give him some spotlight as well. Camden Wesley Cam, Wellington Wolves. As I said, you raved about him all weekend, so just tell us a little bit about Camden and what you saw in his game this weekend for the Wolves.
Yeah, man. Athletic, gritty forward. On the AAU circuit, he's gonna be able to switch 3 through 5, I think, very comfortably. Be able to make plays above the rim, can finish almost any play close to the rim. You can throw that ball as high as you want. He's going to go up and get it. So, just being able to get downhill, can handle the ball well for his position too. So he's just kind of a dangerous guy. He can do multiple things. He's versatile on both ends of the ball. I'd like to kind of say he's like an interior enforcer with some two-way ability to him. Has great potential. Somebody that I think college coaches should pick up on a little early. And so, I just want to see how he develops later into the season because I think he could. He showed a lot, but I think he can show a lot more too. So, somebody that I'm going to be keeping my eye on. I think anybody who's watching this should as well. He has a lot to prove and a lot to show. So,
Absolutely. Excited to track his development the rest of the season. As I said, I wasn't able to see him as much as you, but definitely will be adding him to my list and tracking his performances these next couple of weeks as well. Next up for me, going back to Castle Athletics, this time on the 16U side, we have Bryce Yancey. Point guard, can play the one spot, can play the two spot. Just a really high level field player. Has great control of the game whenever he's running the point. Really adept at getting downhill, finishing at the rim. Super quick with the ball, super quick with the ball in transition in the half court setting. And the explosive athlete, he'll put you on a poster in half court. If he's in the open court, you never know how he's going to finish. Very athletic player and really had a great overall weekend for them from Friday into Sunday as well.
mhm. Yep,
Yeah.
I agree.
Next up for you, on the YGC 16U side, Joshua Baba, another kid that you were really raving about this weekend. His team went 4-0, so another dominant performance for them. Just how did Josh contribute to their success being undefeated this weekend?
Yeah, I think he was a big reason this team went 4-0. I mean, he's one of those guys that's going to be able to score with the ball on the ground or just kind of, putting somebody in his box, bringing them in and being able to create space with a jab step, with his body, with different movements. So, shot creating ability. That's the number one thing that comes to mind on the offensive end. On the defensive end, great footwork, active hands. So he's going to be switching the 1 through the 3. He can be your point attack defender or be, helping you on defense, playing a help defender kind of role. But with him, it's being able to get to the rim, get to the line, and also just create shots in the mid range too, which, opens up stuff for his teammates as well. One of his other teammates that I did want to call out is Drake Chapman. This guy, I don't make comps a whole lot, but this guy did remind me a lot of Draymond Green, right? And what I mean by that is his physicality and grittiness. I mean, this guy, and he's a leader. That's another thing too. I think, Draymond's a great leader. This guy's a great leader as well. Very vocal on both sides of the ball, communicating to teammates the spots they need to be in, what they need to be doing. And another great attribute about Chapman that was also similar to Draymond that I thought of was his passing ability. He can create passes, almost out of any situation that's thrown at him. And then, he can do any kind of pass. So, I mean, I saw him throwing lobs. I saw him doing post entries, overhead, bounce pass. He can do the chest pass, overhead pass, outlet pass. Great passer for his position. I believe he's playing the 4/3 for his team, kind of a point forward guy. And so, I think he might need to get a little bit stronger, but just his ability to, make plays for other players is what makes him such a winning player. A glue guy, ability to finish at the basket, get to the line. Another thing that him and Joshua both share is their ability to get to the line is great. And so these two guys were a very big contribution as to why YGC 16 went 4-0 this weekend. And I'm very excited to watch this YGC 16U team. I mean, they got other guys on their roster too that are great. So in my mind, those are two players that I'm definitely going to be looking out for. And that YGC 16U team is just a team in general I'm going to be looking out for.
Yeah, man, that team has some hoopers. You did a really good job of covering them this week. I wasn't able to see them as much as you, but when I did see Baba, man, the shot creation definitely stood out for me. So definitely excited to track their development and just their overall team performance moving forward this season. Next up for me, another undefeated team. We have the New Jersey Bulldogs. Dylan Carr, the four-man there, had a really overall solid weekend. I think every game he finished in double figures. Was able to talk to Dylan a little bit after their game on Sunday against Delaware Certified Hoops. Delaware went into that game with only one loss. New Jersey was fighting to stay undefeated. Dylan had his best performance of the weekend. Was really just making an impact on both ends. Cleaning up the glass offensively, defensively, whether he was putting back his own missed dunks or missed layups that him or his teammates had and just cleaning it up, or scoring from all three levels. He's deadly from the mid range, was able to knock down open threes as well. As a four-man, did a solid job protecting the rim this overall weekend as well. And then lastly, just that overall team, everybody from the guards to Dylan, super athletic in the half court in transition. So I think maybe like every other possession, they had a dunk in transition. And Dylan was able to really showcase his passing ability, kind of throwing league out passes, hit aheads for his guys as well. And like I said, always finishing in a dunk. So I wish we were able to track dunks this weekend, but New Jersey probably definitely had over under 12 to 14 dunks in
Yeah.
that one game. So overall performance for Dylan, as I said, he's very competitive. So I was able to talk to him and was really just hard on himself for the performances that he had this weekend, but was a really overall solid showing. They went 4-0. So he'll continue to be hard on himself, just top 150 player now, continue to want to elevate his team, show up for his team in the best capacity that he can. So was very impressed with Dylan and the overall New Jersey Bulldogs team as well.
Yeah, Dylan, I mean, what I think of, when first thing that comes to mind when I think of him is athletic ability. He's
Yeah.
6'9", 215 about, according to 24/7 Sports, but he can jump out of the gym. I've read in articles he has a 37-inch vertical. And so just with somebody with that size and athletic ability, it's going to be pretty dangerous, especially on our circuit. And so being able to finish through defenders, I saw him get and one dunks, like you said, putbacks all weekend long. The kid was killing the rim. I think in warmups too, he even broke one of the rims. And
Yeah.
so he's just one of those guys that, just almost like Camden Wesley came, you throw it up, he's going to go up there and get it, and he's going to finish it. And, another thing too that I do really like to see with kind of guys in his area is good passing ability. That's one thing I always like to look out for. And so he can play in the high post, get the ball to the low post very easily. I think you and I both talked about too his ability to provide outlet passes and transition too, just from getting the rebound, having a great athletic rebounding ability. He can make high level passes, right? So that's just so deadly for a team like New Jersey Bulldogs 17U when you're matching up against them. You're going to want to put that on the scouting report because he's really going to come out and cause some issues for you there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. His ability to end possessions on the defensive end and just create extra possessions for his team on the offensive end is definitely incredible and will be a huge asset for them this season as well. I know we both have two guys that we want to touch on individually for both of us, so I'll definitely start. I would be definitely remiss to not mention DMV Hoop Stars backcourt, Matthew Bowman and Brody Jackson. Great backcourt duo. When you watch them play, you can instantly see the chemistry between both of them. They dominated from the start. On Friday, was able to talk to them. And as I said, when you see them play, you can see the chemistry, was able to talk to them. And they told me that they've been playing for 3 years now. And that's definitely the case. Either one of them can play both guard spots, can play off of each other. And are both really unselfish players. So on the Matthew Bowman side, he's just a crafty guard, super fast in transition with or without the ball. When he doesn't have the ball, can leak out in transition, beat defenders down court, and just get easy layups at the rim. When he does have the ball, very crafty, decisive with his dribbles as well, and a big time shot maker. On Sunday, they went against SLT Hoops in an undefeated matchup. Both teams were fighting to stay undefeated. End of the game was very electric. Matthew's team had a turnover at the end. SLT was getting ready to close out the game, just needed to hit some free throws. He stole a pass off the inbound, went to the other end, finished, brought them to overtime, and then hit the pull-up jumper to win from 3 in overtime. So a great performance from Matthew, big-time shot maker, and definitely a great way to end his weekend. And then Brody Jackson, again, both guys can really play the guard position. Brody's more of your natural point guard, can definitely play off the ball as well, but really great passer again. In the open court as well, but also in the half court. I think every day I at least watched him make 2 crazy skip passes to the other end of the court. I mean, having that feel at 16 years old of a passer to be able to read the defense when they're lagging off of defenders and hit that corner guy is definitely high level for sure. And then most importantly, his ability to get downhill and just draw fouls. I mean, if we're talking about grassroots, high school, college, or the professional level, being able to get to the line and create easy points for yourself is always a huge asset for a player and their team as well. And in every game, I believe Brady shot at least 5 to 6 free throws. So very impressed with their backcourt. Again, they're only 16U, so they'll be here for another year. So very impressed with both of them. And they both deserve incredible shout outs as well.
Yeah, they play great.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know you have 2 more guys that you want to highlight as well from the Breakdown Select and SLT hoop side of things. Definitely just give us a quick overall synopsis of those guys too.
Yeah, man. So the first guy, Christopher Jackson on Breakdown Select 14U. To me, downhill threat, right? He's going to get the ball in rotation and be able to take advantage of the defense when they're kind of scrambling around. The ability to have different hop steps, Euro steps, side steps. He has all the kind of steps that you could have within your bag, and he can also convert. And so defenses pick up very early on that he has these skills. They're going to be dropping to kind of help to prevent this kind of stuff from him. But he can finish through contact, so he's either going to go finish the play with one or two guys on him, just through his craftiness right at the rim. Also, another forward I kind of saw that had a good passing ability, so he'll be able to kick it out, get the ball to his open guys, and then he's a decent catch and shoot guy too. So a trailer on an offensive play where the defense gets out or offense gets out in front of him, he can be trailing in, seeping it back in behind that offense and knock down the open three. So pretty impressive player. The other guy I did want to highlight was Caden Hines on SLT Hoops 15U. He's a forward. He's a young kid. He has some work to do, but he's got a great base map to work off of. Very athletic, a guy that can make plays above the rim, finish through contact. Had some crazy dunks for a 14-year-old or 15-year-old in my opinion, and just can play both sides of the ball. So he's another guy that I did want to highlight. Had a great weekend for him. If you're watching, keep working, young man, because you have a lot in front of you. You just got to work a little bit, and you'll be there, man. Those offers will start coming in.
Absolutely, man. I love the Caden Hines shot. I was definitely able to catch that game together, or at least one of those games together. And Caden definitely impressed me as well. As you said, his development is just getting started. A lot of room for growth there. So definitely shout out to Caden, shout out to Christopher as well, and shout out to all of the guys that we've highlighted in this segment and their programs as well for just an overall great weekend and continuing to develop those guys. But those guys made a name for themselves and will continue to do that this year. So thank you, Jack. Appreciate you hopping on, man. It was great catching these guys in Boston with you, and
Yeah,
we'll definitely be together again soon. And just enjoyed talking to you. So thank you.
no, of course, man. Thanks for having me on. It's always a good time. So hopefully we do this again soon. And Cam, when I see you again, man, I'll see you.
Absolutely, man. Welcome back to the Next Pro Show. I am live with my guy Ethan. Ethan was on the grounds in Duncanville for week 1 to cover our girls. Ethan, how are you? How was week 1 as well?
I'm good. It was fun to get out there and watch. Man, it's been a minute since I've been around it, so watching it's a little more competitive than the last time I was around coaching. So, yeah, it was a good weekend.
Absolutely. Love to hear that. Let's start with players first, 17U. They went undefeated on the weekend 4-0. No, there's 2 players on that team that you want to talk about. Casey, Allison. Let's just kind of start there.
Yeah, I'll start with Allison because she's the one that's going to stick out from warmups. At 6'2", she's super long. A lot of post players like that get in trouble with because she's a shot blocker, but people can take advantage of it, getting her in the air. She's super disciplined, but also didn't do too much as far as like too much. I mean, a lot of coaches would be like, all right, like you're talented, but let's do what we need you to do. She was a team player. She could shoot, finish at the rim, guard. I mean, she was at one point she took a rebound and there wasn't an outlet, so she just took it herself. I mean, she's a total player. She's gonna make somebody very happy. With Casey, now she's got offers. So like she's legit. And I think kind of similar to Allison, but also just player first in general. She she's gonna do what her team needs. So like I didn't necessarily see her have to take over, but I think for her high school team, she fills it up.
Absolutely. Let's go to Team Allegiance. Jayla Skies. They went 3-1 on the weekend. What did you see about Jayla that stood out this weekend?
Yeah, that was the first game I saw was Team Allegiance. I can't remember who they were playing, but immediately Jayla stuck out. I mean, she's their lead guard. She guards full court. They're a pressing team, and she showed why they do that. Just super calm, nothing phased her. They throw double teams at her. She'd split them, make the right play. She shows that she can shoot, but she handles ball really well, finishes well. It was defensively though that I mean she's all over the place, passing lanes, has a hand in the defender's pocket. I mean she was hard to handle for, and I saw her a couple more times and it was the same thing. So she's super consistent.
Love to hear that. Team Takeover went 2-2 on the weekend. Talk to me about Abigail Cohen, her game.
Yeah, her Twitter says she's 5'11", but I almost don't believe it. She plays like she's 6'2". Um, Great frame, good feet, plays with a wide base, which is kind of hard to teach. But yeah, no, she can score both hands, back to basket, face up. If she gets at the high post, you better not, you can't help because she's going to find her teammates and they're going to score. So she was really impressive.
And then one more player on the 17U side from Team Rise, Marby Reef. What impressed you about her this weekend?
Her demeanor. She is exactly what you want in a lead guard. She's stone cold. Nothing phased her. Bad calls, missed shots, turnover, like nothing. She didn't care. Double team, she handled it. But then I expected her just that to be her personality. I'd see her come off the court and she's all smiles with her teammates. I mean, she's exactly who you want to lead a team. And she doesn't have a weakness. She can shoot, she can handle, she can finish, play defense. She was great.
Love it. Moving on to some of the younger ladies for this weekend, we have Michaela Williams, 14U for Team Run and Shoot. Her team also went undefeated 4-0 on the weekend. What stood out about Michaela's game? What's the scout on her?
So yeah, she played on Run and Shoot's 13U, but I'm not convinced she wouldn't be their best player on their 14U. She is a bucket, and everything's easy. I mean, it almost looks like she's walking around. It's that easy. She, yeah, she can shoot, finish, guard, kind of the same thing as that we talked about the other guards in the 17Us, but it's just more impressive at that age being able to do it at such a high level.
Yeah, shout out to Team Run and Shoot. Shout out to Michaela as well. Lastly, we have a sister duo, I believe. On the 12U side of things, Team Lady Rumble, we have Cadence and Hannah Jacobo. Sisters also went 4-0 this weekend as well with Lady Rumble. So what stood out about their games as well?
Well, initially I was like, oh, I think it was Cadence. She wears number 1. She stuck out. But then I saw her again and she was wearing number 2. I was like, what's going on? Plays the exact same way, Hannah. And I was like, oh, they're twins. There's 2 of them out there. And that's just scary because, I mean, Cadence, the first possession I saw, gets in a pick and roll with their post player. And I'm like, for most teams, she'd be the post player with her size. Um, she she passed it on the correct side. A lot of players do it on their strong hand side on a pick and roll, and it might not be there. She pivoted, made the correct pass. It was impressive. They can both finish, play defense. Kind of the theme of all these players. Everything looked easy. It almost looks like they're just walking around, just a day in the park. And again, 12U. I mean, they're gonna be crazy. I think in my article I'm talking about watch out Cavender twins. They're the next duo. They're crazy.
Well, you heard it from Ethan. They're the next sister duo. So shout out to the Jacobo sisters, the twins as well. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Michaela Williams on the 14U side of things and all of the young ladies on 17U that we also shouted out. But most importantly, also shout out to their coaches, program directors for constantly developing them as well. Ethan, appreciate you hopping on. You did a great job covering these young ladies this weekend. Look forward to having you on again. This was fun. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate it.
Welcome back to the NXTPRO show. I'm here with my guy Dotson, ready to dive back into some impact players and teams from this past week for week 1. Dotson, you were in Seal Beach, man. How are you? How's your day going?
I'm a lot better now that I'm back in Louisiana, back around New Orleans, back around Grandma's food. But hey, I love to see the sunshine. I had to check out Cali, yeah. But we back home. We back home.
Absolutely, man. Cali's close to my heart, too. Went to school there at USC. But like you said, boat, New Orleans born and raised. So nothing like being back at home. But yeah, man, let's kind of get into it. Want to talk about some highlights just from week 1 in Seal Beach. I know we spoke a little bit earlier just about some guys that you're very impressed with. The list is long. We have CPSA, Reno Ballers, Team Vital, a bunch of different teams. So I guess we can kind of just start with CPSA, giving the credit to the champs, and can start with Jacoby and just kind of let you have it from there.
Yeah, I mean, everybody that knows me knows my summer league is like where I go. I love summer league, and Jacoby looks like some of those younger brothers that's running around summer league that half the guys, hey, the coaches are really waiting on them. Jacoby looks like one of them kids that they're really waiting on him. Still growing. He has the size. He has the muscle, the touch, the understanding. He just looks like a guy that's been around the game, and he'll really be a force at the next level. Wingspan. His defense kind of reminded me of Cedric Coward, a guy that I've watched a lot on my Gulf South base. I'm usually with the Grizzlies, Pelicans, somewhere in there, or I'm with y'all. He looks like a guy that could be at that level. Big paws on that puppy. I love Jacoby. I love what he did this weekend out in Cali.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we can kind of go to Levi Oaks next.
Levi Oaks, I mean, if you want to hit him and build your way, build your own way, they kind of confused me there. But Levi, King, Rochelle, both of them, they're going to turn heads if they show up. I watched last year on some like Pro 16, NXTPRO, and seeing all the ways that the talent can really blow up, these guys are made for this challenge. Surefire D1s, I mean, it just looks like they're God-gifted abilities. I mean, y'all need the size and their strength. It looks like they can muscle up and get their money. They're headliners, you know what I mean? But they're not playing hero ball. They're stars, but they're not snubbing the hustle plays that you need. So when those May, June, top 100, lists start coming out and get updated, I'm going to be looking for those two to start creeping up on some lists.
Absolutely, man. We'll definitely have to add them to my list as well. Excited to see them. Let's go to Anthony Stokes, Team Vital.
Stokes, the stock riser. I'm buying stock in Stoke all day. Need to see more. It needs to be a little bit more aggressive, but I like the way he approached the game. He was assertive. He just seems like the kind of kid who lives for those last 5 minutes. He plays the game like it's always that last 5 minutes. If I had him and 4 or 5 other just pick random kids in the gym, and I stuck a scholarship in a UFC octagon, I'm picking Stokes to come out with that scholarship. I just believe in that he showed me that kind of heart, and to stick with that Vital, vivid, again, names going wild after all that TSA fighting, but they had another guy on that team, Nowlin. Same last name as like a best friend from high school, PJ Nowlin. It seems like they look like 2 other D1 names that we're going to need to know going into the live periods.
Absolutely. Next guy I'm very curious to hear about. Tell us about Sean Mendoza and what you saw out of him this weekend as well.
Okay, Sean Mendoza, as soon as you stay at Shooter Sean. Look, Elevate had some shooters. That Arizona team had some shooter. I talked to the coach for Magic Select, I believe it is, because he had a couple of nice shooters, but their games were just hard to scout. He knows why, because they were just blowing them out. Yeah, that's what it happens. But there were some tight games, some tough games. And Sean Mendoza come out, even when he was missing, he was relocating, just like Curry. His teammates were trying to find him. He was still out there scrapping. And that's what you look for. And then most of the time, that next shot dropped. You know what I mean? And it just says a lot when your teammates have confidence in you, even if you hit 3 bad shots. Not to say bad, but they're off shots. They got contested. Something happened. They didn't go in. They still wanted Sean for that 4th shot, and I seen him get hot. So either it was a crazy hot streak or he's one of the best scrappy shooters in California for that, and I love it. I love small guards. My small guard back home in Louisiana just signed with ULM. I could see Sean Mendoza making one of those late rises, depending on how he grows into his game and the rest develops around that shot.
Absolutely. I love the nickname Shooter Sean. Definitely going to let that one stick for sure. Colin Anderson, talk to me about him, Reno Ballers, the weekend that they had, and just what he brings to their squad.
Oh man, Colin, he almost looks like he's just a trainer. He doesn't pass the eye test at all when he's walking on the court. You could see other teams. Hey, are we really about to play? They don't literally look like much, but Reno Ballers come out, and Kalen Anderson was he's the only player that made me laugh in a good way in Seal Beach. I mean, he was toiling with people for long stretches. It'd be 2 or 3 good defensive plays. Defense is a team, real big team effort, but he was always sliding all the way to the nail, all the way to help defense, stuff like that. Then he'd go down after the 3 or 4 good defensive reps. He'd get 3 or 4 buckets. And, call him Ankle Anderson if you want to keep throwing out nicknames. But he had the little pump fake. Some people may not even know what I'm talking about, but he had guys look like they were double dutching out there. Kalen really just come out and Hick from Fritz Lick kind of qualities. You know what I'm talking about? And I love to see that out of him. He was quick with it. It wasn't just like he was going through the motions of just beating the competition in front of him. It looked like he was trying to beat the guy that he's going to have to face next. And that's what I love to see about Kalen is he just kept playing. Even after he had an ankle injury, the way he approached getting back on the court impressed me as much as what I saw on the court. And I was right there beside him, watched that ankle get wrapped up. I hope he takes care of it because there's a lot of good qualities in that young man.
Absolutely. Let's move forward and go to Kellen Garcia with Team Clutch.
Kellen Garcia. Oh, yeah, Kellen. And I think Aiden. Clutch and Yakima. Both of them. Those 2 names, I kind of get them confused because they're both on the fringes of like that all-weekend team at their level. There's a lot to like, a lot of mistakes. Both of them need to understand the game and the physicality required. Muscle up in the paint and get your money. You already got bashed the man that was guarding you. You took advantage of that. But you got to be able to play amongst the trees. Everything past that, it looked like it was there. He puts that last piece of that game of his piece of the puzzle together for his game, And Kellen Garcia really is going to be one of those clutch players that you can't keep him off the court. It looked like a kid that you can't keep off the court. He just has to learn to maybe grow into the muscle that he's already carrying.
Absolutely. And last guy I believe we kind of touched on was just Kamani Thompson, Mudville Elite. What's the scout on him?
He made some noise. Playing the game the right way. Every time I turned around, that Mudville Elite was playing, just the kind of way the basketball you want to see. You go into AAU, you're going to see a bunch of scattershot stuff. I had to almost cuss there. I had to pull it back. But they were diving. They were hustling, picking teammates up, kicking the ball ahead, sliding to the nail. Again, those sort of things that you want to see. And that's why Mudville, I don't know if they went undefeated 3-1, but that little group, they just look like they play the right way. And Kamani Thompson was one of those guys that, as long as he keeps the grades right, it looks like we can get him a spot at the next level. Even if it's not D1, there's always a room in this game for guys that play the game that way. So if Kamani's listening to this, I hope he keeps that good side up and don't let anybody get in your head.
Absolutely, man. Well, shout out to all these guys for incredible week one. Shout out to their programs just for helping prepare them, helping develop them as well. Just one more curveball for you, Dotson. Want to know, obviously it's early. We're just heading into week two, very early into the season. But if you had to pick one team that you were most impressed with after week one that you saw live, who would that be?
Oh, just one team. The Build Your Own Way team. I'll go ahead with them. That's the first one that comes to mind. And when I'm scouting kids and talking to coaches, hey, I need one name. Yeah, you say one name and you threw that curveball. That wasn't on the script. Yeah, that Build Your Way, Build Your Own Way with Levi Oaks and King Rashell. I mean, I really think they can make a run like SMB Ballers or Florida Bayhawks did last year and make some noise in the finals. I really think they are getting overlooked. I haven't seen much of them. But when I was asking around, I didn't hear too much about them. And what I saw in the gym at Seal Beach, it just looks like they're a program that we need to hear more about, see more about, because I liked what they were about on the court.
Absolutely. Love it. Appreciate you taking that curveball, man. But thank you, Dotson. Appreciate the time. It's always great chopping it up with you, connecting with somebody back from home. So appreciate you. This was fun. We'll definitely do it again soon and look forward to having you on.
Hey, no problem, no problem. I can take the curveball and play with anybody like Bo Jackson,
Ooh, okay. Appreciate you for your time, man. We'll definitely have you on soon. Look forward to it.
Safe travels, guys.
We are back with my guy, Sean Pickle. Sean was live on the grounds this weekend in Milwaukee covering our games. Sean, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
All is well, man. All is well. Excited to talk to you about week one. Was able to talk to you a little bit after the games on Monday and told me week one was phenomenal, man. I know we had 2 4-0 teams that you're very excited with multiple guys to kind of talk about and highlight. So let's just kind of get straight into it. I know first we had Chapman Academy. Again, they went 4-0. I think Saturday they had a dominant win, 81-26. Sunday they had another dominant win, 83-24. So you can only have a win like that or 2 wins like that when you're playing team basketball. Everybody's hitting on all cylinders. So Mike Rogers, Jalen Trotter, Colin Julian, Noah Presley, Oliver Bilot. I think there's probably more guys that you have to mention, but just to name a few, just tell us about Chapman Academy and their overall dominance this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Joe Chapman over there has done an amazing job with building that kind of academy over there. And yeah, I mean, you just could see it just from the get-go. They came in with the confidence. They came in with all that stuff and are able to play as a team. And a lot of them actually play together at the host site. So they actually play high school together. So that made it better for them, as well as playing the same conference. But yeah, so just kind of name a few guys. So for that 17U, the Pro 16 team is that Chapman Basketball Academy. So there's a couple of guys that I really was intrigued by. And so kind of the first one was kind of Mike Rogers. So Mike Rogers Jr., I mean, very quick guard, kind of 6-foot guard, who's, I mean, D1 kid, D1 all around, and the way his talent, how he's able to kind of play the game consistently. And I had a conversation with him, and man, he's just a great teammate. Everyone wants to talk to him. Like, people are coming up to him, everything, and he's having a full conversation with everyone. So how he's able to kind of attack to the rim, create opportunities on defense. I mean, he was the big reason why they were able to kind of push the lead. But kind of going into Colin Julian, I mean, he's a guy that a lot of people know. And as a junior, he kind of averaged 18 points per game over the high school season. So it's going to be very interesting how he does this year. And I mean, watching him play, he does his game. He plays his game. He doesn't worry about anybody else. He plays his pace. and he kind of commands the floor, right? So he's able to command, and he can shoot it from anywhere. I watched him shoot from the volleyball line, and every time he shot the ball, it just seemed like it was going to go in, right? And he's very good at using his length to get to the rim. And then on both sides, defensively, he kind of commands just kind of this light little defense and just makes the right move at all times. So those two guys are huge, and Oliver, in my opinion, was able to play his role very well. So he kind of did the right things at all times, and that kind of his points kept getting more points because he was wide open for three and knocked them down all the time, and did very well with cutting. So he was always kind of cutting, seeing that the guys were kind of leading up a little bit on defense, and he was able to cut backdoor and just get wide open opportunities for his team. So yeah, those three guys are the big ones for the 17U Pro 16 team. And then kind of talking for that 16U team was my personal favorite out of the crew was kind of Jalen Trotter. I talked about him a bunch of times over my X account. But yeah, Jalen Trotter, the 6'2", 6'3" guard, who's kind of coming into his own, right? He's kind of moving up the ranks, becoming an upperclassman this upcoming season. And he's going to be something. He's going to be really good. He has ability to grow, but how he elevates off the ground, he's able to kind of get the ball and then drive to the hoop easily. Can get by pretty much anybody. And how he finishes above the rim, it's kind of that easy little finger roll right into the rim, right into the net. And it's just fun to watch all the time. And he was able to knock down threes. First game, he went 5 for 7 for 3. So he's going to be able to consistently shoot that ball at all times and make defenders guard up on him so then he can go right by him. So those are kind of the big guys for like the Chapman Basketball Academy that I kind of was very intrigued by. So yeah.
Absolutely, man. I mean, they had a great weekend, as I said. I mean, winning 2 games by over 60 points is definitely impressive, especially for week 1. So I'm expecting them to continue that and just continue to dominate. Our next team that we have up here for 17U 4-0 is MTXE Premier. I know you have 2 guys here, Max Goggin and Cam Povey, who stood out for you in both days as well. For those who are not familiar with these guys, just give us an inside look on the impact that they had towards their team undefeated start this weekend as well, and just their full potential as players.
Yeah, so Max Goggin kind of so they had 2 17U teams play over the weekend, and they, as combined, it was 7-1. And Max Goggin was a part of the 3-1 team, which easily could have gone 4-0, right? So, and how this kid plays, he's pretty small but very tough. So, what I'm going to kind of give this kind of comparable, if D2 guy Dallas Graziani from Nova Southeastern.
Okay.
Absolute grinder of a guy, right? So he's always going, constantly going. One of those guys that you just love to coach, right? He's gonna help there, be on the court, like a coach on the court, just kind of like his teammate Jack Clark as well, who I won't get too much into, but one of those guys is just always going, right? Always going, has great pace, can get to the hoop. He has an amazing in the mid-range jump shot. The thing he needs to add is a 3-pointer. If he can add that 3-pointer, he's going to be tough to stop and will be easy recruit for college guys. But this guy is going to be something to keep an eye on for the next this year and including next year. So and then going into kind of Cam Povey. Going into Cam Povey, this guy, he was he was a part of that undefeated squad. Him and Torrance Rivera. Povey it's just that guy, right? He's able to kind of create, again, a little undersized, but he's a great shooter. How he's able to kind of can get to the rim, can pass it out. Great mechanics, very shifty. So one of those guys that's able to kind of just make any defender look silly. Another couple of issues though is that he kind of gets a little too rushed, is a little bit flashy. One time I saw him hit a behind the back that was a dunk highlights. But sometimes his highlights turn into turnovers. And so that's kind of, if he's able to just kind of cool it down just a little bit more, man, he's going to be fun. And it's going to be fun to watch the rest of the season and going into high school.
Absolutely, man. Love that. Definitely excited to get my eyes on MTXE Premier and Max and Cam as well. Cam, great name, man. Shout out to you. But have to ask you, Sean, quick side note for the viewers who are not be able to pick up the audio. You are driving and giving these scouting reports, which is very impressive. So a two-way player yourself. Just want to know where you're driving right now, man.
Yeah, no. So I'm actually currently a student in university now. I was at high school teaching a little bit, so I was going from there home, and now I'm about to go to because I coach track as well. So I'm about to head track practice right about in a couple of minutes right after I get off this. So yeah, driving parked right now finally, but yeah. So hopefully you guys can hear me, but.
Love it, man. No, your audio is great, man. And if you guys, again, couldn't hear Sean, he was driving. So great, just a great guy. Teacher, scout, coach. The impact in sports and on the youth is definitely paramount. Sean, last guy for you. My favorite guy from your list, just because he's so young. We have a youngin from 13U, Elijah Martin from Region Force. Just tell me what really impressed you the most about his game on the 13U side of things to be so young and just be with a group of 17U guys is the most impressive person from this weekend.
Yeah, no, I loved watching Elijah play. So his team, Region Force 13U, played up for against 14U teams, and they won. I believe they went 3-1 for the weekend. But in a way, it's kind of he's the smallest guy on the court, and by a good margin, right? I was able to kind of talk to his dad and everything. Just this great kid. I mean, how he was able to kind of keep composure no matter what in a tough situation. They loved to trap him. They wanted to trap him, kind of get tough. The way he's just smart on when he's going to backpedal and when he can, and he sees the gap, and he takes it. And his handling skills is elite for his age right now. And with him being so low to the ground, the dribbles are, so quick dribbles. But yeah, no, he's just great watch. He's able to kind of get his teammates into the game a lot, and he knows when to shoot it, right? So sometimes he won't just shoot it because the defender is kind of far away because they might get blocked. But I mean, for someone that has kind of that calm presence at his age, it's just confidence, steams with confidence, great teammate. And I personally wrote it down on my list. I want to be able to see him for the rest of the season, and then for the next many years. It's going to be fun watching grow into this to a star. So yeah, he was kind of, in my opinion, the player of the tournament. Him and Mike Rogers were my two players of the tournament for all teams, all ages. And yeah, so I was really intrigued with his skills and everything. Great kid.
Absolutely. Perfect, man. Appreciate you. Shout out to Elijah, man. Again, you are the youngest person on a group of mostly 16, 17-year-olds. So keep working. And remember, once he's a huge name on the next pro circuit, my guy Sean was the one that gave us first dibs. Elijah Martin, 13U Region Force will definitely be on the next pro circuit and the name to follow for years to come. Sean, definitely want to thank you again for the time out of your busy day. Again, just the impact that you're having in the classroom as a scout, as a track coach as well. We definitely appreciate you taking time out of your day and all the things that you're doing to help the kids on the youth side. So appreciate you. We'll definitely have you on again soon. And this was fun, man. So looking forward to doing it again.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on here. It was a fun thing. I love talking about these kids. They deserve to get their name out there. So then, especially college coaches, get an eye on them. So that's always the goal for my job, at least.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. And we'll be talking again soon. Later.
Perfect. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Next Pro Show. I am now here with my guy, Tommy. Tommy was live on the grounds this past weekend in Rockford, Illinois for week 1. Tommy, how are you?
I'm good, Cam. Thanks for having me on. It was a fun, exciting weekend in Rockford. I was happy to get the session started. We had some good basketball out there and a lot of good players standing out too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's just get straight into it. Memphis Blazers 17U. They went 4-0 this past weekend, undefeated. Talk to me about Kenyon and Derek. They were major players in their success this weekend. What stood out about both of those guys in their individual games?
Sure, Memphis certainly was the team of the weekend. They impressed in every game that I saw them play. They have a good size and athleticism across the board. Kenyon Dow is a 6'3" point guard who is very long, athletic, and he can really shoot. He's got some deep range. He dominated in a big win in one of the best games of the weekend over Team FEV, Fred Van Vliet's AAU program. And he scored 30 in that one, including the game winner in overtime. He just possesses deep range. He can score in transition. His length really makes him a factor defensively. He can guard multiple positions. And in fact, he's such a big point guard, allows him to cause a lot of disruption. Memphis was using a 1-2-2 ball press, and he was playing in that and generating a lot of deflections and steals, as well as Derek was. And Derek stood out to me on the first day, especially. He was my player of the game, and a big win against the Miami Dynasty, who was another good team who went 3-1 over the weekend. Derek is an ultra aggressive, high motor guard. He loves to attack off the dribble and push in transition. He did a really good job of just being assertive and aggressive. He's quick enough to gap attack the zone and shift the defense, and he does a good job of getting downhill and finishing at the rim. He's versatile too. He can step back and shoot an outside three. He can get to his one dribble pull up, and in that 1-2-2 press, he was consistently just being able to cause deflections, generating steals, and he really stood out just for his aggressive and how hard he played. And that was kind of true of the Memphis team. They were definitely the most outstanding team that I saw this weekend.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to get my eyes on the Blazers and check out Kenyon and Derek's game. So we'll definitely be adding them to my list. You did mention the Miami Dynasty. I know we talked about them a little bit off camera. They went 3-1 this past weekend. And as you told me, they had huge contributions from multiple players. So just talk to me about their key players this weekend in their individual games. What's the scout on them as well?
Sure, the Dynasty, they have a lot of good players, versatile players. What stood out, the player that stands out the most was Jefferson Sanchez, a 6'8" big man who is very athletic. He's strong and powerful, and that's what really stood out about his game. He loved attacking off the dribble from the perimeter, and just his strength and power allows him to get to the rim, and he can really finish there too. With authority. He got a nice baseline drive where he, dunked pretty hard and kind of woke up the crowd. And he just played hard all weekend long, and he's a monster in the offensive glass. He was the biggest player at the event, and he really showed that, his game can project to the next level, especially as he develops an outside shot. Maybe the best point guard I saw all weekend was Richard Segovia from the Dynasty. He's a 5'10" point guard who's very physical at the point of attack. He initiates contact on his drives. He really did a good job of getting downhill, going both ways, using his left as well. And he really stood out in that game against on the last game that they played on Sunday against Team FVV. He had 25 points and 5 threes and led his team to a comeback victory in a really big game. And so he really stood out, just a high IQ player who makes the right reads and knows makes winning plays. And he was really just a fundamentally sound, pure point guard that really stood out as probably the best point guard in the event in terms of skill. And also they have a couple shooters too. Gabriel Village, 6'3", just pure shooter, very quick release. He catches the ball real high and gets that shot off quick. He stood out every time I watched them play, just his ability to shoot from the perimeter. He made a game-winning 3 in their last game with under 10 seconds left. That was really a big-time play against Unlimited Athletics. And so he projects, with his length, especially that can help him on the defensive end. He projects pretty, good to the next level. He's an interesting kid to keep an eye out for. And so the Dynasty really impressed over the weekend, as well as Memphis.
Absolutely. Sounds like a lot of high-level players making a lot of big-time plays. So definitely shout out to Team Miami Dynasty as well. I'm excited to watch them live in person later this season. Lastly, just want to ask you about Team FVV 17U. Also went 3-1 this past weekend. Heard a lot of great performances from Alex Ambrose, Kazion Moorhead. What's the scout on those two guys as well as a duo and individually too?
Sure. The Team FVB really stood out. I was impressed with how hard they played as a program. I talked to their coach, Coach Jose Harris, and he's a high school coach in the area, in the Rockford area, and he told me that, we treat the AAU season like the high school season, where if you don't defend and you don't play hard, you're not going to play. And definitely I saw that with Alex and Kazion and their whole program. It stood out to me just how hard they played. Now, Alex was probably my favorite player over the weekend. His game really stood out, just very versatile, fundamentally sound guard who was just aggressive, attacking off the dribble. When you see him, you don't necessarily think, he doesn't stand out physically to you, but he really impressed with how skilled he is. He did a good job of getting to the rim and playing off 2 feet where he could finish. He does a good job of using a shot fake and getting to the hole. He had a really nice play where he shot fake from the arc, drove downhill, pass fake to the corner, and then was able to finish at the rim through contact and draw an and one. So he played really hard, and he was really fundamentally sound and just kept making plays. He's a good shooter as well. So he was probably my favorite player to watch over the weekend. And then Kazian is another slasher, athletic guard, 6'2". He can really get to the rim. The team with Team FBV, they train at Fred VanVleet's the Houston Rockets. He has a gym in Rockford, and you can see that they're well coached and well trained players, because anytime he got downhill, he had counters and different moves that he could get to. When defenders came up to guard him at the rim, he was able to back pivot and get his shot off and made good reads. He can find the open man, and he's just very skilled, and definitely someone to watch with room to grow in the upcoming year.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate your time. This was very fun getting a chance to chop it up with you. Week 1 was very exciting. A lot of great basketball in Rockford and just across our tournaments for this first week. Definitely look forward to doing this again with you. It was a great time, and appreciate you just hopping on and giving a great evaluation on the guys. Shout out to the Memphis Blazers, Miami Dynasty, Team FVV as well for a great weekend, and all the other teams that was there.
Thank you, Cam. I appreciate it. I'm excited to be in Hammond this weekend.
Absolutely. Perfect. Enjoy Hammond. Another great week of basketball as well. Look forward to talking to you soon.
Take care, Cam. Thank you.
Welcome back to the NXTPRO show. Got my guy Noah with me today. Noah was on the grounds in Kansas City for week 1. Noah, how are you, man? Appreciate you hopping on.
Doing well, Cam. Blessed to be here this morning and excited to talk about what I saw this past weekend.
Absolutely. Let's just kind of get straight into it. Give buckets or die. 2 guys there. They went 4-0 on the 16U side of things. We have Logan Christie, Kyle Simpson. Tell me what you saw in those guys' game this weekend and just the overall team performance.
Yeah, from both of them, I saw pure leadership from end to end. First quarter, they would always start the game off hot, whether that was on the defensive end or the offensive end, just setting the tone early. I feel like both of them were able to control the pace of the game. Kyle Simpson is a ball-dominant guard. He can get anywhere he wants on the floor. I literally have a clip of him dribbling in a simple circle pattern, and he just changes speed and gets to the cup easy. Logan Christie had a game where he had 30, just a natural scorer. He could get downhill. He uses his size well. He's 6'8". But he can also stretch the floor and knock down threes from deep. So from both of them, I saw, pure dominance on the offensive end. They both have big frames. Kyle Simpson, rather, he is 6'4" at the guard position. So he's also long and able to defend multiple positions. So I think from both of them, I think they were the key to their team starting 4-0 this past weekend.
Love that, man. Heard Give Buckets or Die had a big weekend. Looking forward to watching them in person as well. Let's move on to Pac Pro 16, 17U side of things. They also went 4-0. Talk to me about DT Childs and what you saw from him this past weekend.
Yeah, from DT Childs, I just saw a fluid game. It's not often that you see players, especially at this age, having a nice mid-range game. And that's something that, as you see at the next level, the best players in the league are able to do and find their shots late in the shot clock. So I think that he knows his spots. He's very nimble to get, through the teeth of the defense. I feel like something he does very well is just get his teammates involved early because he knows he can get his whenever he wants to. And then from that, I feel like he feeds off his defense and, trying to get the tempo going and the team going off of that.
Yeah, man, for sure. PAC's another program that I've heard a lot about since I've joined here at NXTPRO, and definitely excited to watch them in person as well. Let's move on to Anthony Davis Jr., KC running Rebels, 17U. They went 500 this weekend, 2-2. So not too bad at all. What did Anthony provide for his team this weekend?
Yeah, I think Anthony literally did it all. I think he ran 1 through 5 on the offensive end, and on the opposite side, he guarded 1 through 5. So he really showed his versatility at the wing position. He showed that he can knock down the 3. He showed that he can, execute a pick and roll as a ball handler and as a screen man. So just having that IQ as a player, getting a feel for, every area of the court, I feel like is just very invaluable at this point in his career. And I feel like at the next level, whatever that looks like for him. I feel like he'll be able to apply some of the things that he's, working on right now and getting outside his comfort zone. And with that, his transition game was very, very effective. And he had, I think, 4 dunks in a game I watched. And yeah, he just really excelled on just his length and his versatility.
Perfect. And then lastly, we just have Aiden Bogart, Mo Legacy 17U as well. Also went 2-2 this past weekend with his squad. What was it about Aiden that caught your attention this weekend?
Yeah. Funny thing about Aiden, it wasn't just me that, he caught my attention. It was me, Kyle, and Jack. We all noticed the kid, and he was in the first slate on the first day. So I think, his game kind of helped set the standard for what we were looking for in standout players. He is a 2026 unsigned senior. So, there is a little more urgency for him, but I think that what he was able to do this past weekend really is a good, foot forward going into this next pro season. He's a big, he's able to dribble on the perimeter. He can shell off his defender. He's, comfortable in the post, backing down, high post, low post. On the defensive end, he's active. His hands are always up. He's deflecting passes. He's contesting shots without fouling. He's doing everything right. And it feels like he just had a natural game. So I think that's something that stood out to all 3 of us, watching him this past weekend.
Love that, man. Happy for Aiden. Happy he made the most of his opportunities. College coaches, Aiden Bogart, 2026 unsigned senior. If you need a big on your roster, definitely tap in. All 3 of our scouts that were on the grounds in Kansas City were all very impressed by Aiden. So shout out to Aiden, but also shout out to Anthony, Logan, Kyle, DT as well, all of their program directors, their coaches that are constantly helping them develop on and off the court. Noah, I appreciate you, man. It was a great weekend overall in Kansas City. Sounds like it was definitely a great weekend for me in Boston, all the other scouts that were out there across the country scouting as well. So appreciate you hopping on this morning, man. Definitely look forward to having you on again and appreciate your time.
Appreciate you, Cam. Thanks as always.
Welcome back to the Next Post Show. I'm now here with my guy, Alon. Alon was live in Tennessee last week, in Franklin to be specific, for week 1. Alon, how are you, man? How was the first week of games?
Hey, Cam, I'm doing great. Appreciate the opportunity of being out there, getting to see some great talent, and appreciate the opportunity to be on here talking about the talent.
Absolutely, man. I know we talked a few times this past weekend, earlier this week, just about some of the teams, some of the guys. And you told me the FCA Saints, despite not having the strongest start on the season, 1-3 on the weekend, there were really 2 guys that stood out to you. Jordan Murphy, Kyrell Gibson. I know Murphy's a 6'5" wing. I'm familiar with him before this weekend. But just tell me about their games despite not the strongest performance and what stood out.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to start off by saying the best thing about doing this kind of stuff, just going in blind, not having any research on any of the prospects, you really get to see the game for what it is and what the kids have to bring to value before you even understand their accolades and any of that nature that might skew the perception. But no, I mean, Jordan Murphy, once I saw him, I knew, okay, yeah, this kid definitely is a rim protector in the fullest. He's so aware of like being able to understand what's going on around him in the block. He's not just defending drop coverage. He's able to slide his feet, defend the perimeter, really be able to go ahead and contest every single shot that was within 10 feet of the rim. So really just like a space eater on the defensive end. That's kind of rare for a kid his age, class of 2028. So the sky's the limit for him. I didn't even know prior to scouting him, he's actually leading the state of Tennessee in blocks. So in high school, he had 4.3 blocks per game. And it translated definitely this past weekend. Another guy from FCA Saints, Kyrell Gibson, 5'11" guard. Interesting thing about him, I really think he has a 6'4", 6'5" wingspan. He had 14 points in the one game I saw him. To put in perspective, 6 of those points came off of steals that he generated and finished. So I think as you want to look for a guy that's, really crafty, really under the radar, has a lot of opportunity and upside to really be a secondary option on a team, a microwave scorer coming off the bench. It really, the sky's the limit for that kid too. I would love to see him kind of refine the skill set as far as the handling a little bit more. But other than that, he has all the offensive IQ and upside to really go ahead and take it to the next level and be of service for whatever path he goes down at the next level.
Perfect. Let's move on to Cam Cross, City Basketball 16U.
Yes,
what is it about Cam's game that caught your eye this weekend?
I mean, you want to talk about a kid that I walked away from this weekend saying I think he is the perfect emulation of his position and archetype of his position. everything you want out of shooting guard, right? Like he's super speedy. He knows how to really generate shots for himself, was running floppy action, was able to use his athleticism, really create picks off any single players in his surrounding, just to find an open look. And the thing about him is that he welcomed the contested shots, whether it was in the mid-range and on the perimeter, finishing. I mean, he really just took it to guys no matter what. I would like to see a little bit more creativity on the finishing, but when you have his skill set, his size, his power, it's kind of hard for a kid with his motor to say, let me find other creative ways to score when he just takes it to guys every single time. So really love that about him. I really see that he is going to end up being a really good 2-3 player in the future. And again, one of the kids that, even though he is 6'1" now, definitely projects to have like a 6'5" wingspan. So if he can grow an inch or two more, I really think he's going to be the perfect emulation of what you want in number 2 in today's game.
Love that. I'm definitely excited just to get my eyes on city basketball and Cam as well. So I'm definitely excited to just do that in the future and watch him. One of my favorite programs, been waiting to get to this, Handles and Buckets. Kamen Thompson, 14U, class of 2030. Despite being 14, he's already 6 feet from what you tell me. Heard they had a dominant weekend, 4-0. Had a 37-9 victory on one of those days as well. So just tell us about Thompson, his team, and his potential despite still being in middle school and still being about 6 years away from graduating.
Yeah, so Handles and Buckets 14U Premier, that was the first team I saw this weekend as soon as I walked in the gym. I mean, he stood out without a doubt. Like every single kid on the court that was there, it's obvious he was head and shoulders above everybody else. And it's kind of crazy to say because he's only 14, but just the way he plays, the way he knows how everybody is on the court, what kind of options he has with the ball in his hand. He's looking for every single opportunity to find his guys opportunities to score before he even finds his own bucket to score. And I think that says a lot about where he is as a player right now. And it might sound ridiculous to say, again, him being 14, but everything that he does emulates that of being a pro at this age. I think the sky's the limit for him. If he's already doing things at the level he is, doing 26 points a game, having 6+ assists, getting 7+ rebounds, I think the sky's the limit for what he's going to be able to accomplish as a point guard or even as a number 2 option on any team.
Yeah, and just staying with Handles and Buckets, on the 16U side, their team went 3-1 on the weekend. There was a combo guard there that caught your attention as well. Tell us about him.
Yeah, so Ezra Nieves, honestly, you would look at him on the court, probably the most unassuming kid, right? Like you really would think that he's really a nice kid, really, on the smaller side. But when he turns it on in the court, it's ridiculous. I mean, the closest thing I can say to his ability on the drive that I've seen from a player to comp it is Lonzo Ball. Like he is just so explosive when it comes off the drive, but not even that. He plays at his own pace. He's able to know where everybody is on the court. If he wants to go ahead, slow it down, work on picks, work on the ball handler game, pick and roll action, pick and pop action, he can do that. And I mean, the other thing is that he's almost like a little Austin Reeves out there. The way he's able to go ahead and generate steals, like just lash out of passing lanes, really take it to guys and find creative ways to finish around the rim. I think he actually might be one of the coldest mid-range players I saw this weekend. And it says a lot, the fact he's only 6'2", but he's playing as if he's 6'4". And he's really being able to utilize every single handle and tool set that he has to not just, like I said, get to the rim, but really create for the rest of his teammates and make sure that his team is always ahead in every single option when he's on the court.
Yeah, man, I had one more question for you, but you honestly answered it. Just wanted to know if there was a player comp for him. And I mean, a mix of Lonzo Ball and Austin Reeves isn't a bad player at all. So shout out to Ezra for a great weekend. Shout out to Handles and Buckets. Shout out to the FCC Saints, city basketball as well. All of the guys that made a name for themselves, the teams as well. Alan, appreciate you for your time. It was a great weekend of games all across, not just in Franklin. We're excited to do this again. It was great having you on, and we'll be talking to you again soon.
Sir, appreciate you guys having me on. Y'all take care.